The hungry goat and kind-hearted children, hunger and helplessness. In a small corner of a modest village, a goat named Sheena lay with her 6 innocent kids. For the past 3 days, neither Sheena nor her kids had eaten anything. The kids, weak from hunger, softly bleated as they huddled closer to their mother. Sheena's body was too frail to produce milk for her little ones. Sheena's owner, Amarazia, was a poor widow who had nothing to feed them. Sitting in her small, rundown home, she looked at the goat with pity and despair. "Sheena, I can't do anything. I don't even have enough for myself," she murmured with tears in her eyes. Sheena glanced at Amarazia with longing, as if pleading for help, but eventually she nestled her kids closer to her and closed her eyes, holding them tightly. The neighboring children. In the same village, in a neighboring home, 5-year-old Rida and her 2-year-old brother Muaz were playing on their rooftop. Rida was a compassionate and clever child, while little Muaz was still learning to speak and often asked innocent questions. Leaning over the edge of the roof, they peered down at the goat shed below. Hunger and desperation seemed to fill the air around it. "Appa! Oh, oh, what's that?" Muaz asked in his baby-like stammering voice, pointing toward the corner where Sheena and her kids sat. Rita pulled Muaz closer and replied, "That's a goat and her babies. They look very hungry." Muaz stared at the goat with his wide, curious eyes and softly said, "Hun, hungry?" "Yes, hungry." "We should help them," Rita declared. "How? What, what can we give?" Muaz asked, confused. "Let's go home and bring them some food," Rita said, taking Muaz's tiny hand and leading him inside. No, the act of kindness. In the kitchen, Rita searched for anything left over. She found half a piece of bread, a little bit of vegetables, and an apple on a plate. Gathering them all, she looked at Muaz and said, "This should be enough for the goats." Muaz smiled and said in his innocent voice, We give?" "Yes, we'll give it to them," Rita said excitedly. The two children hurried back to Sheena. Seeing Sheena's frail condition brought tears to Rita's eyes. She carefully placed the food in front of the goat. Sheena hesitated at first, but the aroma of the food drew her closer. The goat began eating slowly, and soon her kids joined in. "Goat is eating," Muaz exclaimed happily in his stuttering way. "Yes, she's happy now," Rita replied with a gentle smile. The reward of innocence. The next morning, Rita and Muaz returned to Sheena. This time, Sheena looked better, and her kids were hopping around with joy. Muaz clapped his little hands and said, "Goat, happy." "Yes, Muaz. We helped them, and now they're happy," Rita said warmly. Sheena looked at the children and softly bleated, as if to thank them. When Amarazia saw this, tears of joy filled her eyes. She hugged both children and said, "My dear children, what you've done is a big deed. May Allah always keep you happy." A lesson in love and compassion, Rita and Muaz's small act of kindness became an example for the entire village. The villagers realized that love and compassion bring true happiness. Looking at Muaz, Rita said, "Muaz, always remember, helping others is the best thing we can do." Muaz, in his stammering voice, replied, "We will help." And so, these little children, through their small act of kindness, became a big inspiration for everyone around them.